course, if you call ahead and give them a day or two notice,
next time we'll have Asabuca.
They will have that for you, of course.
One of my favorites.
Shall return in just a moment.
Thank you.
You're very
Can we get another bruschetta?
Of course.
Thank you.
Yes.
Marianne Hawkins is on the piano.
And she just started.
Yep.
She's very good. If you know, I know you were up there before, but if you maybe like to listen afterwards, it's definitely worth the trip.
Cool. Where do you live relative to here?
Atlantic Beach, about 10 minutes up the road.
Not bad.
Bought the house in 1989, paid $89,000 for it, and gutted it 3 years ago. And
did you really? Wow.
Started again.
I was with Ben Carter a couple days ago.
How's that? He's a smart guy.
Yeah,
Dear God.
His fucking ass. Guy's got taste.
Oh yeah.
The antiques that he has.
Oh really?
Just phenomenal. Absolutely freaking phenomenal. I mean, Oriental, English, American. I mean, just phenomenal.
The whole bit.
Yeah. It's like walking at a museum. I used to have really nice stuff. And it was impressive. You know the Bellagio, all those glass things?
Sure.
He's got his own, made by the same person.
Oh man.
It's phenomenal.
That's nice.
Right
I wouldn't know what to do with it, but
right
it's nice.
I mean,
Where does he live?
on Contributor Boulevard. He's got 3 houses on Contributor Boulevard.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know he lived down here.
Yeah, that's where he lives. This is going to be his new home. That's why.
Really?
That's why we.
I had no idea. I mean, Tom, I had no
that's
idea.
why we work it.
I had no idea.
He likes it.
I had no idea.
He's going to be very helpful to us. Another real player.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah.
Crap.
I think.
I mean, that's like having. I mean, damn.
We laid out a plan for him that he's very happy with. So I think we'll have that breaking ground in 2011. It's a tough market, as you know. Tough tenant market.
It is. But it'll come around.
Absolutely.
Retailers some sectors took a little bump up today, and
the whole issue is going to be confidence. You've got to start building a positive story.
Yeah.
I mean, my whole pitch is changing to. I'm picking on the newspapers for writing all this shit. It's time to write good stuff.
They do pick on the negative.
So
No doubt.
Of it.
No doubt.
I put, the Metro section in the Jacksonville paper starts off with some local bullshit. Next 2 pages are obituaries.
I mean, big. 2 pages of obits. You're going, what?
On page 2 and 3.
You're going, what is going on?
And I'm, they're supporting my regionals. I say, you guys are full of shit. I thought I liked you guys. I don't think I like you anymore. I got this piece of shit First Business thing. And what has it got? Duval. When's the map going to show the fucking region?
That's what I've never understood is a division between Duval and St. Johns County. Up until a year ago, you would never hear a peep about St. Johns County. Tom, you would hear nothing.
I agree.
I mean, not a thing.
I mean, that all started to change when Daniel and I hooked up. I mean, Daniel wants to be mayor. And Daniel doesn't.
I think he should be.
I think he should be.
He's a steady player.
But he doesn't know how to do it.
Can Gilmore help him?
No, but I can.
Okay.
I mean, Daniel and I just got back from spending the day together. I mean, I'm with Daniel all the time. And we're going to form a new subcommittee of the city council, and Daniel's going to head it up, and he's going to make his name for him.
And the subcommittee is?
I don't know. Has to do with the port and transportation and economic development.
Good. Thank you.
Motherhood issues.
Thank you. Motherhood issues.
Yeah, okay. Motherhood issues.
All right.
That's what I try to sell most of the time is motherhood.
The basics.
American flag, apple pie. I don't try to sell issues that are divisive. I try to sell issues that are cohesive. I put St. Johns County second to Duval. I'm not supporting the port and Cecil Field. These are long-term economic drivers, and these are irreplaceable assets. Northeast Florida, you could not build these assets today. And we have got to drive our economic development from those assets. And I've gotten Clay to come aboard. I've gotten NASA to come aboard, because they trust me. They don't trust Jacksonville at all.
Mm-hmm.
There's zero trust of the outlying counties of Jacksonville. But there's huge trust right now in me.
That's because it's always been, Jacksonville first.
Well, Jacksonville's always run.
They've been the bully.
Right. And they're going to be the biggest challenge on this regional transportational authority because it's going to
Sure they will.
It's going to dilute their influence.
Now tell me, how are you going to neutralize Blaylock?
What am I going to neutralize him for? He has no voice.
He's on JTA. He is JTA.
So what?
What are you going to do with him?
I don't know. Let me explain something. When I was a young man, I hired an interior decorator. And he came into my home and he said, Tom, Mr. Manuel, the rose medallion bulb would look very nice here. I said, what? Are you crazy? I have 3 kids. And I have 3 dogs. He says, Mr. Manuel, the rose medallion bulb will look very nice here. The rest is a personal problem. But the rose medallion bulb will look nice. And as I've explained to my confreres on moving Florida forward, I think it's amazing I got the name. I think it's freaking amazing. I'm getting the website up. This thing is going to...
Nobody had the name?
No one had the name. How crazy
How does that happen?
I have no idea. God's on my side. I keep talking to him. Ken Pruitt, is quacking. He's giving his opening speech.
Yeah.
And what's his words? Moving Florida forward.
And nobody grabbed it.
I own that name. I'm screaming at the moment. I own that name. That's mine, motherfucker.
That's too much.
And I entertain myself.
Yeah.
It's very important to entertain.
Oh, yeah, as you said, it's got to be fun.
Oh, you have to.
It's got to be fun.
Why do
Yeah,
it?
it's got to be fun. You okay with reds? You good with red?
Oh, absolutely.
Good.
Yeah, any red. Love red. Keeps my heart going.
Yes, yours and mine both. Yours and mine both.
To me, this... I don't think I'm... here's my dichotomy, I think. I'm a politician, but I don't think I'm political. And what I mean by that is I do what I think is right. I'm not driven by... we had a room full of people in Palencia, and then we passed a 5-0.
Yeah.
We were very polite to them, we listened to them, and then we did the right thing. I don't think I'm like a Cindy or Ben who are driven by these, this niche constituency that they're trying to build favor with. I really try, and I think I do a good job at listening and take my experience and do what I think is right, and then sell what I think is right.
Mm-hmm.
It is amazing the relationship I have with all the newspapers. I got 7 newspapers.
Yeah, you got good relationships.
7 newspapers.
You got good relationships.
It's unbelievable. And I think to a certain degree it's because most politicians are scared of the newspapers and run away from the newspapers.
I don't think they know how to manage them.
Well, the newspapers need stories. That's what they need. I got elected because I couldn't afford anything, but I got stories. I create stories.
You did, and you did a good job at that.
Right.
You did a very good job at that.
And they wrote the stories. And it's a lot better to have a story than it is to have a purchased ad. And that works so well, and I understood. You see, if I can do your job for you, you're a reporter, and if I can give you the story,
damn right he's going to print
give
it.
you who to call. In the early stuff when I was doing this, I'd say, here's the story, here's the content. You call this guy, this guy, this guy. Here are their phone numbers. Have a good day.
His job is done.
Right. He calls, so that, all of a sudden there's Joe Saviak, Flagler professor in the paper, or this guy in the paper. I have this cadre of about 10 or 12 people who are my call guys on different issues.
Yeah.
Let's call.
And boom, there they are.
And do whatever you want. You ask me any question you want. I don't try to... The only story that I'm trying to drive is the transportational story. That's
a big story.
That's the only story I'm trying to, mold. The rest of the stories, I let them go any place they want. And then when the story doesn't come out right, I go, I take full responsibility. I don't blame them. Never blame them.
Mm-hmm.
In every situation, there's a sender, there's a message, and there's a receiver. And clearly, I didn't communicate. I like to pride myself as a good communicator, So I failed when I didn't communicate properly.
Somewhere.
And the burden is my responsibility. And of course, the press loves that. Because typically I got miscredited.
They got to defend themselves.
Right. So I take all the burden.
Let me tell you, you communicated well with Art, very well with Art. He gets you. He understands.
It was short and sweet.
Yeah, I get you. I understand. George is getting there.
Yeah. George was not a supporter of mine. I mean, I used to beat the shit out of George.
Yeah.
I remember the PC, I'd say, oh, Mr. McClure, how many guys you got here today? Who's he got? Well, I got my impression. I go, so is that 8 guys, Mr. McClure? And he says, yeah. I said, I'm feeling a little froggy today. You may have to call for more. Or he'd be at one podium, and Tony Robbins from Press Happy at the podium. And, George would give his history lesson because I give a history lesson.
Yeah, absolutely.
I said, I got to tell you guys, with Quincy. I said, I got to tell you. I was out of Quincy last night. It is unbelievable. And I said, I got to congratulate you, Mr. Robbins, and, Mr. McClure. What can I say? I mean, it's just a fabulous job. So the next time I want to calm the county, I'm going to hire you guys. So they went from this, woo, to, oh, shit.
Took the wind out.
Yeah. And, of course, Prosser Hylock was representing Mariposa. And then we have the Highlands DRI. Doug Miller's coming up to me saying, you're not going to kill us, are you? I said, well, wait, I might.
So, Lara, but what do you have in Tigliano?
I believe I have the 04 as well. 04 is a great vintage from Tuscany. So I have either one. The Tiganello's at 85% Sangiovese, 50% cab. The Solaya is a little more cab, more low.
Yeah, you have the March.
Exactly. Well, yes, very good month.
You pick. You never done wrong.
You got the March. You got the Beaujolais Nouveau March.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really do think that I've been very lucky. I think my timing's been good. I think I recognize when there's an opportunity. It's an old Wall Street expression that says if you're right too soon, it's the same as being wrong. And
that's true.
I think one thing I'm able to do is, I know where I want to go. By the end of the decade, I want to be in California.
Why California?
I'm just saying, I know where I want to go. Whatever the issue is, I have a plan for an issue. And then I use the theory of opportunity. I'm able to recognize opportunity very quickly to sell my message. You'll say something and
you'll glom onto that.
Right, for my message. And I think on my core messages, I stay very focused. I don't allow people to divert me, like you just tried to do with JTA and Blaylock. See, I explained to you, one is a strategical decision. The other is executional. Don't get me into the execution business yet, because I'm still in the strategic
You're
business.
still in this? Okay.
So don't divert me.
Okay.
And I will never let you divert me. And that was what I just told you. That's what I just showed you. And I think that's one of my great skills that I say.
Good evening.
How are you?
Evening.
We charge a $5 fee for coming in and out picking lines just as much as it's part of a walking fee. Oh, look at that. Couldn't find it. I had to bring in the A-team. And,
the A-team.
The A-team, right. It's good to have the A-team.
Well, I wanted to have...
Make sure it's right.
Well, no, I just...
That's the March.
Shifted some wines.
That's the March one, right?
Okay.
I'll make sure it's
We're
March
good.
04.
We're good.
April 04 was not as good.
Yes. Now, gentlemen, while we are thinking about dinner, I do have some specials to tell you about today.
That's special. Ossobuco.
Unfortunately, not that one, but 2 appetizers and 2 entrees. The first appetizer is bacon fried oysters. That'll be accompanied with a jalapeno slaw, and then finished with a barbecue hollandaise. Wonderful appetizer. And then the final appetizer is also very nice. It's chipotle grilled shrimp. Of course, chipotle is a smoked pepper seasoning.
Yep.
And that will be served over sweet cream corn and cherry tomato salsa, and topped with sliced avocado.
Sounds healthy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the avocado makes it, yes, exactly. But those are the appetizer, gentlemen. And now the entrees, the first one is jerk marinated grilled pork loin. Of course, the jerk is the Jamaican seasoning. Not a lot of heat, but really a lot of flavor. And that'll be served with vegetable fried rice and tempura asparagus. And then the final entree, orange miso glazed salmon. That'll be accompanied with ginger caramelized carrots, and then finish with a shrimp spring roll. Now, of course, not only does that taste good, but it's good for you. Now, shall we?
Pour that around once it sits for a few minutes. Should be fine.
You don't think it needs a little decanting?
No. Pour it in the glass. We'll be fine.
Excellent.
We'll be drinking the scotch and the bourbon until then.
Where's the grappa?
Well, yes.
Oh, don't get me started on grappa and ouzo. Oh my God. Tom, what are you thinking about an appetizer?
I don't know. You want to split one or you want to go?
No, we're going to do a couple. We're going to do at least 3.
Well, I've always liked calamari. Calamari.
Okay, so grab the calamari.
Calamari is it's all fried. Half of it is tossed in the sweet and spicy sriracha.
Sounds unbelievably good.
Yes, it's delicious.
How about
I have a
that?
new heart, so I can ruin it.
He can.
I just
He's
came
got
back.
plenty of
I
mileage.
have no coronary artery disease. I have no plaque.
We're ready to go for.
My heart's 25 years old, and I'm going to outlive all you motherfuckers.
So in honor of that, we're going to have the grilled sausage,
Woo!
and we'll have the. Let's go with the capriccio.
Yep,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yep.
Excellent.
What's soup tonight?
No soup tonight.
Okay.
But I'll start those right away for you, gentlemen.
Good.
Thank you so much.
Macho.
Macho. Macho. You can turn it. We got real work to do.
Yes, very good.
That's very nice. It's nice to do this. I appreciate it. Thank you.
No,
for inviting me.
it's a good place to kick back.
Oh, it's fabulous.
The service is good. This guy's been waiting on me for 3 years. And, it's just a good place. I mean, when John and Evan come into town, we sit here, we work stuff out, figure out where we're going, what we're doing, why we want to get there. It's good. It's good.
It is good.
Art likes this. He feels at home here. This is kind of like like his home.
Yeah, that's nice. I could like to get to know him better over time too.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I'll tell you a funny story. I was on the PCA and I supported Twin Creeks, and I talked to him afterwards. And then I was driving down, I was down in Boca, and I called him up. His office went, never called me back.
Art never did.
Yep.
I'm surprised Robert didn't call back though. Bobby didn't call back. Bobby's the quiet one. Mm-hmm. He's the thinker of the group.
I was just a dumb shit PCA. Remember, you got my vote. It was done.
Yeah, but well, Bobby wasn't there. But here's the deal. We were in Orlando last week. Right. We're negotiating with Wachovia. Extend these loans out. You don't need an appraisal. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Fine. Bobby doesn't say a word the whole meeting, and we're struggling. I mean, we're really struggling with these bankers, and
no one knows how to put a valuation. There's no values.
That's right. And
how much is this glass worth? I have no fucking idea.
Exactly. So Bobby waits to the very, 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 very end of the meeting. He says 5 words, and the bankers say, "Okay, we get it. Thank you." Meeting over. That's Bobby. He waits. He takes in. He understands. He sees.
I'm buying Wachovia stock because the yield's so fucking strong. It's the biggest bet I have going right now. I don't have a lot of extra liquidity right now.
I don't know who does.
But I'm betting that I got all this fucking real estate. I got my river house. I'm trying to sell. I got my other house. I'm trying to sell. Got my house in Madrid.
Yeah. It's a big nut.
Yeah.
It's a big nut.
I'm good for a year and a half.
It's a big nut. It's a big nut.
It actually cost me money to be a commissioner.
No doubt.
So what's the 5 words? What was the 5 words they said?
That Bobby said?
Yeah.
He said, in 5 words, he summarized that he will give them a piece of property next to Twin Creeks that has no debt on it.
Right.
That's all they needed to hear.
Sure.
They were looking for a vote of confidence.
Sure.
Throughout the meeting, Bobby was waiting to see what they really wanted.
Sure.
They didn't want an appraisal. They didn't want the loan to be serviced. They were looking for a vote of confidence.
Right.
Because they know that Art is doing a global with Wachovia throughout the entire United States. Mm-hmm. If they screw him, they're screwing themselves.
Sure.
So at the end of the day, they were just looking for somebody to say, we respect you, we understand you, we won't ask any questions, you don't ask any questions, and it'll get done.
Good.
Done. And that's the way they work. It's a very quiet.
Well, I've always been a believer that once you loan me money, the problem is now yours.
Clearly. Clearly.
And that's always served me well. through very hard times. And I don't know. So what do you think I should be doing? What do you think I should do differently?
For transportation?
Anything.
Just
Anything.
all,
I mean,
all
I'm
across
driving-
the board?
I'm driving tourism. I mean, there's not a fucking topic that I'm not driving.
You know, you're driving the whole thing, but what are you doing for you?
Nothing.
That's my point. What are you doing for you?
Yeah, nothing.
You know, I'm 56. What are you? 60, 62?
63.
You're 63.
No, but I have a 25-year-old heart.
And so you'll go for another 50 years.
I told all my kids, you're fine. Your mother
I'm gonna outlive you.
Your mother died of a coronary at 55.
I'm
I had
out-
a massive coronary at 53.
You're going before me.
You're going before me. Just put me in your will.
There's some truth to that. There's some truth to that. But what are you doing for you?
Not much. Yeah.
And like you say, you know, it's refreshing to hear you say that it costs you money.
It does.
You know, it reminds me of a guy, and you probably heard his name, Bowie Kuhn.
Sure. I
Yeah.
had dinner with him before 2 days before he died. He says, Tom, there's like 20 people there. You and I are the only commissioners here. Yes, sir, Mr. Kuhn, you're right.
Yeah.
And now I'll tell you something you don't know. When George Steinbrenner bought the Yankees, I financed it. I was the Yankee banker for a long time. I have in my home a Yankee Stadium scoreboard, and it says, "The Yankees welcome Tom Manuel, the Yankey banker." That's all the time. John Henry, who owns the Boston Red Sox, bought my house in the camp. So I know John for a long time. So I'm sitting with Billy Cohen, and we're talking baseball. Yeah, because Steinbrenner paid $10 million
Yeah.
for the Yankees from CBS.
You know, figure that out.
That's crazy.
How does that get done?
Yeah, American Shipbuilding out of fucking Tampa ends up with the fucking Yankees.
You know, how does that happen?
My kids, my older kids, we used to go to the Yankee Stadium and we'd be in George's box, and all his seats were baseball gloves. They looked like baseball gloves. They were leather
Really?
baseball gloves. And my kids thought that was the coolest shit in the world.
Well, it is pretty cool.
And they would run across the box and they'd jump up and go, "Foop!" And then they'd get up and do it again. And George used to come up. He owed me all the fucking money.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I could see them steam coming out. Yeah, it was funny as hell.
How did he wind up owning you the money?
I lent him. I worked for the bank.
No, I understand.
We financed it for him.
I understand.
Mm-hmm.
But what got you to that bank at that time? To be there at that?
What got him to me?
Well, pick a point.
Yeah,
you know, how does all this come together? How do these lines cross? How do they get together?
I mean, it goes
What brings us here?
Yeah,
I mean, how does that work?
I don't think they were in the max. I really don't. I believe. Well, first, I believe I should be dead.
So you got nothing to lose.
Zero. Okay? I have absolutely zero to lose. I lived 4.5 years, almost 4.5 years in a lazy boy. Couldn't move 5 fucking feet. My blood pressure bottomed out at 57/45.
45.
45.
You were dead.
I was dead. When I had my open heart surgery, I was after the surgery, they did the surgery when I was in a coma. I had a ventilator. I opened my chest. I got paddled 11 times during the surgery. I have a scar right here because the ventilator had my saliva.
Right.
And when they paddled me, it ended up burning.
Okay, conductive right through there. Yeah.
And you'll see me sometimes, I'll go like this. And that recenters me back to where.
Interesting.
I get so engaged that I'm going to overwhelm you with my will and my logic. I get a little manic sometimes, right on the borderline. And then I go, okay, cool, I got it.
It centers you.
So I was 3.5 weeks in a coma. And I remember waking up. My wife Terry was sitting right there. And I said, "Hi, honey." And we talked a couple days. I said, "You got paper?" And I looked at the date, and it was 3.5 weeks of my life lost.
Gone.
And then
What does that feel like? I mean, you got that block. I mean, you're happy to be back, obviously. But
I'll tell you the whole story. I had the heart attack. I was playing in an Old Farts basketball league in Coral Springs. EMS went to the wrong high school, which resulted in a significant portion of my heart muscle dying. Just died.
Hence the need for a transplant.
Yeah, that's what started my cardiomyopathy. Ischemic cardiomyopathy.
And what is ischemic?
It just means you have no chance of coming back.
Okay.
It's bye-bye.
Right.
And I remember lying down on the court because my blood pressure went, didn't have any pain, really. And I was getting ready to stand up. I drank some water, put a cold compost in my head. One of my guys I play with.
And how old were you?
53. And a guy walks over. I was actually 52. No, 53. And the guy walks over to me, and I said, I gotta go home. I gotta go. He says, you're not going anywhere. And he called EMS. And I said, call my wife. And he called my wife. And she got to the hospital. I lived in Lighthouse Point at that point. Really nice. 200.
Over by Jupiter?
Yeah, 200. I had on the intercoastal 200 feet. It was nice.
Yeah.
My boat, my tiara outside, all that kind of shit. It was very nice. We maintained a high level of poverty. And she got to the hospital. And I remember coming out of the back of the ambulance, saying hello to her, telling her not to worry. Our daughter, Shannon,